Let me tell you a story about distraction. It used to be a character trait, something we all had. A little bit too much here, a little bit too little there. But today, distraction is a diagnosis, a billion-dollar one. ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. It is everywhere. Schools, workplaces, self-diagnosis threads, and especially in pharma profits. But what if we've got it wrong? What if distraction isn't a disorder? What if it's a symptom of a broken, hyperstimulated world? Let's pull the curtain back. Not just on the label, but on the environment that created it. In 1980, ADHD barely existed in medical textbooks. Over 6 million children in the US alone were diagnosed. That's nearly 1 in 10. In adults, the numbers are rising even faster, doubling in the past decade. Now pause and think. Have humans suddenly evolved to have defective attention spans? Or has the world around us become incompatible with how the human brain evolved? We weren't born broken. We were born for a different world. The human brain evolved in nature. Slow rhythms, gentle signals, a single task at a time. For thousands of years, your ancestors tracked prey, planted crops, and watched sunsets. Now, you scroll, tap, swipe, ping, buzz, ping again. Your attention isn't just scattered. It's being auctioned to the highest bidder. Apps are designed to hijack dopamine. Content is designed to keep you hooked. Multitasking isn't a skill, it's a cognitive drain. So when a child can't sit still in a 7-hour classroom with fluorescent lights and zero movement, we say, disorder. But the question is, who's really disordered? The child or the system demanding robotic focus in a world built to overwhelm? Now let's follow the money. The global ADHD medication market is worth over $20 billion. Ritalin, Adderall, Vyvanse. Those aren't just pills. They're legal amphetamines. They alter brain chemistry, and they're prescribed to children as young as 5. Why? Because it's easier and more profitable to medicate a child than to question the system around them. Pharmaceutical companies don't sell cures. They sell dependence. And when a child grows up on meds, they learn to believe their brain can't function without them, even if what they really needed was a change in environment, not chemistry. Now let's talk adults. ADHD isn't just a childhood label anymore. More adults than ever are being diagnosed. And not because they've suddenly caught something. They're exhausted, overstimulated, unable to focus, burned out by jobs that demand 24 hours productivity and flooded by never-ending information. In a world where rest is seen as laziness, where silence is rare, and where digital overload is constant, ADHD, like symptoms, become a rational response. You're not broken for struggling to focus. You're responding to a world that's constantly attacking your attention. Here's a radical idea. What if ADHD isn't a deviation? It's a variation, a different style of thinking, one that thrives in certain environments and struggles in others. Some of the most creative, innovative minds in history had traits we'd now label as ADHD people, such as Einstein, Da Vinci, Edison. But they didn't sit in classrooms with bells every 45 minutes. They weren't trained to shut up and color inside the lines. They were free to explore. Today, we crush divergence, then medicate the symptoms of its rebellion. Maybe the problem isn't ADHD. Maybe it's the monoculture of how we define productivity and intelligence. Yes, ADHD has a neurological component. Yes, genetics play a role. But environment shapes expression. Studies show that diets high in sugar and processed foods aggravate ADHD symptoms. Sedentary lifestyles worsen hyperactivity. Poor sleep hijacks executive function. Chronic screen exposure shortens attention spans. We're feeding kids brightly colored cereals, gluing them to screens, denying them movement, and then asking why they can't focus. We created the fire, then called the smoke a disorder. Let's look at the word disorder. When we see a pattern of challenging behaviors, we diagnose a disorder. But what if that pattern is a natural response to an unnatural environment? What if the smoke isn't the problem? What if it's our perception of the fire that's skewed? Now let's flip the script. What if instead of battling brains into submission, we adjust the environment to support neurodiversity? What if instead of blaming kids for not fitting in, we work to fit the world around them? That's what we should be doing. I'll close with this. ADHD may be real, but so is the world that triggers, exaggerates, and exploits it. So ask yourself, are you disordered? Or are you adapting to a system that was never built for your kind of mind? If this made you rethink what ADHD really means, share it. Not to go viral, but to spark a different kind of conversation. Because awareness isn't enough. It's time to rebuild attention from the ground up. This is Health Rewired. And we're not here to fit in. We're here to question everything.